beautiful Cambodia. We are here in Siem Reap for just a few days for what else? Angkor Wat. We're going to be filming just one video here during our time in Cambodia, so we're going to try to make the most of it. We're currently walking out of our guest house. We're staying at Bayon Guest House. Highly recommend. And we are going to hop in a tuk-tuk and head over to the temple complex and explore Angkor Wat and Tom's, what are the other ones? Tassom. We'll see. Anyway, let's go.
You ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready. So we got a tuk-tuk driver for the day through Bayon Guest House. This is actually the same guy that picked us up from the airport. Really awesome guy. He's going to take us around all day around the Angkor complex. Right now, first, we're going to go buy some tickets.
Dusty road, we've arrived at the ticket office, so we're gonna go in and grab a one-day ticket. Like I said, we're just doing one day, one video here at Angkor Wat, but we're going to make the most of it, so let's get tickets.
Alright, we just got our tickets to Angkor Wat. They were $37 US per person for the one-day pass. Also, right now, due to the coronavirus outbreak, they're providing a free day with the one-day pass, so you really get 2 full days right now through June 2020. And the reason they're doing that is because Siem Reap and Cambodia in general has been hit really hard by the coronavirus outbreak, so they're trying to incentivize people to get out and do more while they're here in Siem Reap. Also, the last thing, there was no line. We walked up, there was one person ahead of us, and then we got right up there and bought our tickets, and it's like, I don't know, just shortly after 8 a.m. So it's not busy at all, and I don't think it's going to be that busy at the archaeological complex either. So let's get going. Piece of advice, it's really dusty when you're riding in the tuk-tuk, so wear some glasses. Also bring like a scarf or a handkerchief or a face mask to wear just because of the dust. Just arrived to Angkor Wat. Our driver's gonna park over there. There's construction going on right here. We gotta walk back that way behind the construction, and then we'll be able to see Angkor Wat and go explore for however long we want. And then when we're done, we'll go meet our driver and head to the next temple location.
Walking across the bridge, across the moat in front of Angkor Wat and getting our first glimpses of this temple. It is beautiful. Also, this bridge is super cool. It like floats directly on the water, so as I walk, I'm kind of bouncing along on it. Anyway, I'm really excited to start exploring, so let's go.
One thing you should know before we start exploring is that right now, there are not a lot of tourists here because of the coronavirus. I mentioned this earlier. Some of the stats I read is on a typical day here at Angkor Wat, there are 20 to 30,000 visitors per day. And right now, the recent stats coming out are that there are only about 1,000 tourists visiting per day. So that's like, I don't know, close to a 90% decrease in tourism here. So just know that when we start showing the temple complex here and you don't see a ton of people, that is how it actually is right now. We're not cutting anybody out, and in a few months, it could be back to normal. We don't know, and I actually hope so that the locals here can benefit from the tourism industry as they've been doing. With that, let's start exploring. This temple, Angkor Wat, is beautiful. There are so many intricate, ornate details carved throughout all the stonework. It's really incredible. I just had a moment where we're walking down this main walkway. There's just not a lot of people. It's so open. My mind went back to the Charles Bridge in Prague where it was just so crowded. And now I see this and I'm like, I bet it's the same in Prague right now as it is here, where it's just so empty with tourists that you can really just get out and wander and explore the temple, explore the areas. I feel a little bit bittersweet about it. Like, I'm sad and I feel for all the people that are impacted for the situation right now. I don't know how to feel about it, but I'm a little bit bittersweet. Alright, we've made it to the center of the Angkor Wat temple complex, and I wanted to share a few facts that we learned after researching the temple itself. So it was built in the 12th century, so the 1100s, by the Khmer people, which were the original people of Cambodia. And it was originally built as a Hindu temple, and slowly throughout the 12th century it transformed into a Buddhist temple. This whole area in the temple complex, not just Angkor Wat, but all the temples around here, were part of a vast kingdom. This place was over 500 acres. There were villages, a network of waterways. Basically, they say it was the size of London back in its prime. I'm gonna share in the description below a link to a documentary that we watched before coming here, and it really set the context and gave you a good overview of Angkor Wat and the whole area here, as well as the Khmer people. It's less than an hour, so it's a pretty quick watch. Also, if you don't want to do that, or in addition to that, before coming and exploring, you can go to the local museum here and learn more about it as well. We're back on the tuk-tuk. We're heading to Bayon Temple, and then after that, we're gonna stop by quickly at Ta Prohm Temple, also known as the Tomb Raider Temple.
The walls were white, the flame was red, but her eyes were blue. So instead, I was thinking of you. I was thinking of you. Skin was soft, the laugh was light, but my heart was heavy, though it was a fight.
Our second stop of the day is the temple known as Bayon, and it is known for having all the faces carved into the temple itself. When you enter the road to access it, you go under this really gorgeous sort of carved opening with a huge face on it. And then here at the temple, every single sort of pillar has this same kind of serene, sort of plumped cheek face on it. I don't know if that's maybe the face of the king who is buried here or something like that. I don't know, but it's really lovely. Quite a bit smaller than Angkor Wat. Obviously, I think pretty much all the other ones are a bit smaller, but very accessible and easy to kind of explore. So let's do that. I was just sitting in the shade and I saw one monkey and I thought that was exciting. There's over a dozen just that I can see. Lots of little ones that are like fighting with each other. It's funny. Look at all the little ones. Well, the monkeys are the highlight of my day. They're so cute. There's one that's like still nursing and it looks like it's asleep while nursing on mom, and it's so small. Anyway, we can't stare at monkeys all day. It is time for our last temple of the day, Ta Prohm, I believe, which everyone knows as the Tomb Raider temple. It's the one with the big tree and stuff. You'll see shortly. Let's go. So thus concludes our visit to the Angkor Archaeological Park. We left our place this morning around 8 and it's almost noon now, so a good solid half day. And just for y'all's info, our driver that we could have had him all day, half day, all day, didn't matter. It was 15 USD and it was a great morning. I really recommend doing the morning time. The earlier the better. I'm not a great early bird, so 8 o'clock was just about right for me. But it was significantly cooler. I assume it's less crowded, but we really can't judge that right now because there's just not any people here at all. But it is lunchtime. I'm hungry, so we are gonna pop back in the tuk-tuk and head over for some lunch. did it. We made it, buddy.
We did.
Yeah. We spent the full morning, 8 a.m. to noon solid, doing temple time.
We did, y'all. I highly recommend going earlier in the day. From 8 a.m. to noon, it was roughly in the low 80s to upper 80s Fahrenheit. Right now, from like 1 till 6 p.m., it's going to be in the mid to high 90s Fahrenheit. So definitely go earlier in the day if you can. We didn't do the sunrise. I heard you have to wake up at 4, get there super early to watch it in the crowds. And, you know, if you want to sleep in and take it easy, do that.
Yeah, do that. And you know what else? A lot of people might watch this and say, you only spent 4 hours at that whole place. And we say, yeah, because you know what? When you travel, if you want to go to Paris and not see the Eiffel Tower, that's your prerogative. If you want to come to Siem Reap and only go to Angkor Wat for 4 hours, that's your prerogative. You didn't miss it. You know what I mean? You did what you wanted for your trip, and that makes a good trip. Do what you want and what works for you. Sunrise is rarely my thing, like almost never. And it was fine this time. Do what works for you on your travels, really all the time. And don't apologize for it. Let's get back to temple time. What was your favorite temple?
I don't know if this is controversial or not, but my favorite
What's it
temple
gonna say?
was the second one. Was it Bayon?
Bayon?
The Bayon temple. I loved getting lost inside the middle of it through all the tiny spaces. I mean, it'd be dark and then there's light shining through and you'd walk and then you'd look up through a hole in the ceiling and you'd see those big faces just like piercing down at you.
It had great light. That
It
temple.
did. It was so cool. What was your favorite?
He already knows the answer because we asked each other in the car, but mine was also Bayon because it kind of lifted me out of a little funk. I didn't sleep very well last night for whatever reason, so I was kind of like running a little bit sleepy to begin with. And I do this thing where if I don't have anything nice to say, I remove myself. So I go and I'll just sit alone for a while until it passes so that I'm not ruining his time because he was having a ball. So I'm doing my thing, I'm sitting alone. And then I see a monkey, which y'all saw. And then I see a lot of monkeys. And next thing you know, I am up and down and chasing the monkeys in the heat. And I don't care that I'm not in the shade anymore because they were so cute. And it just really kind of brightened my day and took me through all the way to lunch. And I loved it. I really did love the temple itself with the faces. It's gorgeous. The faces kind of make the temple feel alive, you know, as if it's the face of the temple itself. Loved that.
Just know, if you get tired of temples and exploring them, you can just go on a monkey safari for half the day.
They're very cute.
Enjoy it.
Anyway, this is going to be one of our last vlogs of this style of full-time travel, of like round the world type stuff, because our year of travel is coming to an end. We just have one more location that really is hardly a stop at all. The whole COVID-19 thing is going on. We had a bunch of plans after Cambodia.
We did.
That we have sort of tabled, shelved for a while. We'll get to it some other time, some other way. But for now, I think it's most important to just get back home if we can.
Yeah, to fill y'all in on, I guess, some of the behind the scenes that we had planned. We were planning to go to Malaysia, the Thai Islands, Singapore, Taiwan, I mean, you name it, possibly South Korea. But due to everything going on with many countries having travel restrictions, potentially, who knows, in a couple of weeks the U.S. could have restrictions on us coming back. We're just like, you know what? We're going to have 3 nights in Bangkok. Let's use the budgeted savings that we have. Go out in style and luxury in Bangkok with a fancy hotel and get home before they don't let us in.
Pretty much.
That's the goal.
We just really want to get back home and not bring any kind of viri with us.
Exactly.
Viruses. Anyway, by the time y'all see this, we'll have figured out our plan, and so you will know the answer
It'll be
soon.
months from now.
Don't fret. Don't worry.
We don't have the answer yet. We're
we
going to
will.
work on that. We will have the answer for what's to come for us.
For now, we'll leave you with keep going places.